Hey everybody, it's me again. Welcome back to my tutorial more about turtles. So I'm in my world here for ComputerCraft and BuildCraft working together series. As I showed you guys, I added these guys and I'm going to show you what they do, and I'm going to show you the code, and I'm going to teach you more about turtles. So let's go. So these turtles, what they do is they make trees and they farm them. So they're farming turtles. So if you look here, I have saplings, and if you look here, I have bone meal. So inside a turtle, there's pretty much nothing. It's empty except for wood and chest. So remember these two here. These are really important. Why they're there. And I'll tell you why when I go into the coding. So here is an empty chest. The empty chest is for dumping all the crap that the turtle farms. So right now only this one's working. None of these are working. They're just there for show. So let's start this puppy up and see it in action. So I'm just going to restart it, and it's going to say checking for items, and it's going to see, you can see it's going to fill it up, and now I'm stuck in. Alright, cool. So you see it made a tree and it started farming it. So it plants it, farms it. See, it's going up there and it's getting the wood. Now this turtle only gets wood, it doesn't clear the tree. If you guys want me to do that, if you want me to clear the whole leaves and everything, I could do that, but it's kind of a pain. But this turtle only gets the wood. So if I look inside the turtle, it's also getting the saplings that falls on top of it, but or actually, sorry, the saplings from the leaves that it cuts. So as you see here, it's getting wood non-stop. And if you look at the look at it, it's just saying checking space, farming. Cool. So that's pretty much it. This tree will go bigger and bigger as it goes along. So see this on the top view. See, it's taking out the trees that are on top of it, and then it's going back down and planting more, and going on its merry way until it doesn't detect anything. So yeah, now see, the tree got bigger. So that's pretty much it. I think it's a pretty cool little turtle. So I'm going to show you what happens when it gets full. But the only way I've managed to do that is that if all these spaces are full, it's going to dump the load. The way I figured it out is that until it gets to this slot here, it will dump its load. So I have already 64 wood ready. So if I just place it here and then try to get out of here. Okay. So if we look at it, it goes down, turns around, and then turns around again. So if we look in this chest now, there's going to be 64 plus 63, which I already collected, plus 2 saplings that was inside the inside there. So that's pretty much it, I guess. These chests are going to be piped out from the bottom, these two, and they're going to be connected to the system here. So that's how it's going to work. So this guy will go on forever and ever and ever. It will never stop, and that's how it works. So let me stop this. Let me stop this thing. So terminate. Alright, cool. So it's stopped. So let's go into the coding up for this turtle. and show you how it works. Okay everybody, so I'm back in Notepad++, and I'm going to show you the code for that turtle. Now this code is kind of complicated, and I'm going to put it for download in the description for this video. And this code has a lot of functions in it, and also a lot of while true do's. So I'm going to explain to you how that works, and how you can implement this in your own code if you wanted to, or just change around some stuff. So the first function that it does is checks the space. So this function starts with a print to say that it's checking space. Now the first thing, my code is a little messy, but I mean it does work. So you can change around some of these stuff if you want to, but I mean the way I've did it, it does work. But if you look at it, it's kind of messy, but I mean it works. So the first thing it does is detects and then compares to. So here what it does is it's detecting what's in front of the turtle, and then it compares it to slot number 15. So if you remember what was in slot 15, it was wood. So if it's true, it's going to start farming. And this is another function which I'm going to show you guys later. What else it does, it checks the space in the slots. So here, if you do get item space and then the number of the slot you want, what this does is tells you how much space you have left in that slot. So here I did get item space 12, and 12 is the slot where there's at the first, when you first start the turtle, there's nothing in there. So this is the code that the computer checks if it's full, and then drops the items that it has. So drop wood is another function. So I'm going to explain to you guys more about this code because it's a little complicated. So if you do get item space, it's going to output 64 because the items that are in slot 12 is nothing. So if it's nothing, it's going to output 64. So here, when the bin is full for the turtle, it's gonna drop the wood. So but here it's not full, so it's gonna continue on to the code. If you want to do the opposite of this, you do get item count, and get item count will basically output the number of items that are inside the slot. But I did space for all my codes. I mean, I could have done either or, but it comes down to the same thing if you think about it. So here I did get item space 13, and space 13 is saplings. So if it gets item space and it sees that there's nothing in there, it's gonna get the items that it needs. And for slot 14, it's the same thing. It's gonna get the items that it needs from the chests. Here it's gonna detect that if it already has the items that it needs. So here it's getting the space for 13 again, and it's saying if it's bigger or equal to 0, then place the item that is already in there. And so for slot 14 also. So slot 13 and slot 14 is slot 13 is wood, and 14 is bone meal. So I'm going to go to the get item function. I'm going to show you how that works. So the get item function is down here. So here's the get item function. So what the get item function does, first thing it does is print getting items, and then it selects the slot 16. Now when you do the next code here, you have to make sure you have the slot selected that you want to compare to. So what I've done here is it detects in front of the turtle, and then it compares it to the slot 16. Now if you have a different slot selected, it's going to compare to slot 16, and it might come to a different answer here. So always make sure that you have the slot selected that you want to compare to. That's what turtle compare to does. It compares one slot to the slot that you already have selected. So once you do that, it should work pretty good. So here it detects the items that it has sucked in its bin. So we already have slot 13 selected, and it compares it to slot 13 again, and if it's true, it's going to turn left and select slot 16. Now here, if you start the code, the computer is facing forward. So it detects if there's anything in front of it. It detects if there's a chest in front of it. If it comes to false, then it turns left. So now it's facing the chest full of saplings. And when it faces the chest that has the saplings, it sucks it, and then it detects if there's saplings inside the bin. When it does, and when it comes to true, it turns left. Now we're facing the chest that has nothing in it. So after that, we select the slot 16, and if it's true, then it turns left again. So now we're facing the chest that has the bone meal. So it selects slot 14, and then it sucks again. And then it compares it to slot 14 again to see if it has bone meal, and if it's true, it turns again left. And then after that, after it finishes that, it checks space. It checks available space. Now I know I've done a lot of ifs here. I didn't do else ifs. I don't know why the reason why for that was, but I think you could do both. But try to keep it like this. It works a little bit better when you do it the way I did it. But I mean, you could do it whatever you want. And if you do functions, don't forget to do end, because the reason why I'm doing two ends is because for the first end is ending the function, and the second end is ending the if functions. So that's why you do two ends. Now here on the bottom you see it says check space, and then that's it, and then end. The reason why this is here because at the start you have while true do, and while true do has to end, so end is there, and check space is how you action a function. Now if I didn't put this here, the turtle's not going to do anything. So the first function it fires is check space, and this is how you tell the computer or whatever to action a function. So we're going to go back to check space, and then we're going to go to place items. So now we're in here. Okay, here is place items. Place items function starts with printing placing items, and then here we have a new code. While not true, detect down and turtle down. Now what this code here does is detects what's underneath it, and then it goes down. So if there's nothing underneath it, it will keep going down all the way until it detects that there's something underneath it, and then it will just stop. So while not turtle detect down, it's kind of weird, but do turtle down. So it's going to detect, I'm going to explain again. It's going to detect what's underneath the turtle, and it's going to go down until it comes to true. So if you don't put not here, it's going to become a true statement. If you put not here, it's going to become a false statement. I put this code because once it goes up on the tree, and then it detects that there's nothing to form, then it's going to come back down. So what it's going to do after, it's going to select the first slot, and it's going to detect in front of it. Sorry. It's going to detect in front of it, and it's going to compare it to slot 1. If it's false, then it's going to select number 13 and place the item. And now what this means is if there's nothing in front of the turtle, then it's going to place a sapling in front of it. And then it's going to detect again slot 13, which it already has selected. Don't forget that you have to select the slot that you want to compare it to. So I'm comparing the slot 13. So it's going to detect, and slot 13, just to remember, is that it's a sapling. So it's going to detect if there's a sapling in front of it, and then it's going to select slot 14, which is bone meal, and it's going to place it again. So, and then it's going to, what it's going to do at the end is it's going to detect if there's a piece of wood in front of it, and slot 15 was wood. So it's going to detect and compare it to slot 15, and then it's going to check the space. So the next code is going to be the farming code. So what this function does first, again, it's going to print farming, and then it's going to detect and compare it to slot 15. If it's false, then it's going to place the item again. So here, if there's no wood in front of this, it's going to tell it to place sapling again, and then bone meal again, and then it's going to make the tree. So once it does that, it's going to select slot 15 again, and it's going to compare it. Here you see I have the code again. It's going to select slot 15, and it's going to say, while turtle detect compared to slot 15, which is wood, do, and then it's going to select slot 1, and it's going to dig, and then it's going to dig up, and then it's going to go up. So here, yeah, it's going to dig in front of it, which is the wood. It's going to break it, and then it's going to dig up, which is sometimes there is leaves on the top of it. So it's going to get rid of the leaves that are on top of it, and then it's going to go up. Here we have another code. Again, it's the same code I had in the place items. While not turtle detect down, do turtle down. And here we have always reboot. Now, this is important actually, because you want the turtle to reboot. If I just put again check space, and it'll go back to checking the space, and then it will continue on its way. You can put check space here, but if you do, after a while the computer will crash. So this is why I put reboot here, to reboot the computer and then start over, because you need to have the computer reboot at a certain point for it not to crash. I don't know how to make it not crash without having it reboot, but I've just had a reboot, and then it just works. So, and then we have one more function, which is drop wood. So again, it prints dropping wood, and then here also it goes all the way down again. So the same code as you saw in the other ones. So it goes all the way down, and then it turns left. It turns left again, and here this code is kind of long. I don't know how to make it shorter. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to make this shorter, but I really don't know how. But all this does is selects the slots from 1 to 12, and then it drops 64 items into the slot. So let me go again. What this code does is goes all the way down to earth, or to the ground, turns left twice, so here it should be facing forward. So, and then after this it should be facing backwards to the chest that's empty. Then it selects slot 1, and it drops 64 items, and then it selects slot 2, drops 64 items, and then then here it selects, you select slot 3, and then it drops 64 items, 4, 5, 6, 7, same thing, until 12. So, and then it turns left again twice, and then it checks the space again. So that's how I did it. I mean, I know my code is a little messy, but hey, it works. So if anyone wants to change this around, you can. But this is my code for farming trees. If you guys want me to write another code on how to farm the tree completely, to take it out completely, I could try to do that for you guys. But right now, this is just taking the wood that's on the tree. So that's my tutorial for turtles. Please comment, subscribe, and like, and I'll see you guys next time.